So with Joey Andrews on the play, who do you like in game one, pre-sideboarded with the rug deck on the play?
I think of this, I would probably go for, I think I like Joey Andrews on the play, but only slightly. It really depends on Caleb's draws, but Joey can have a great draw here.
Right, definitely.
The Rug Delver deck's so much better on the play than it is on the draw. Joey hasn't dropped a game one in this top 8 yet.
Wow, that's pretty impressive right there.
Well,
2-0 in the top 8.
To be fair, Caleb hasn't dropped a game in the top 8. So.
Well, that's good too. Both players going to try.
Right. But Caleb's won both his game ones on the draw, so certainly a battle.
Yeah, Caleb took that pretty risky draw versus Jerry Thompson in the last round, but the breakers worked out well for him. He snuck into the top 8 as the 8th seed.
Yeah.
So it looks like Joey Andrews in the tank on his turn 1. Trying to figure out whether to keep, and he does.
And he's going to play Misty Rainforest. No turn 1, no 1-drop. Caleb's got to be really happy about that, and then he passes the turn. Ancient Tomb to play tapped into Dimir Signet, so Caleb already threatening the turn 2 Jace.
Yeah, that's exactly the draw that Caleb wants. Turn 2 Jace, turn 2 Tez.
Yeah, it looks like for the Dimir Signet, it's possible it's going to get dazed here. Yeah, that turn 1 Mana Accelerant just so strong from Caleb.
Yep, I believe the Signet is still on the stack right now.
Yep. And he's going to Spell Pierce it much better after, so that way he gets his land drop.
Exactly. That way he can land a Tarmogoyf next turn if he has it.
Tarmogoyf, if he has a daze, he doesn't have to be, he doesn't have to be scared about like Jace getting slammed down here.
Right, exactly.
And he does have a daze here, and he's going to go ahead and wasteland it.
So Caleb Durward goes from 4 mana on turn 2 to 1 mana on turn 2.
And a Ponder by Joey Andrews. This is exactly the kind of start that Joey wants, really to shut down Caleb's mana acceleration.
Yeah, this is really strong by Joey. He's used all the mana available to him. He's denied his opponent a lot of resources already. This is a great start.
Yep, he's going to shuffle. I don't think there was a creature in there, and he needs to find some sort of renewable damage source.
You know, and Caleb pawing at Joey's hand, he's trying to figure out how many cards he has, what cards he has to worry about right now.
Right.
And there you see the judge fix the graveyard. Threshold count is at 4.
So, Ponder, shuffle, cut by Caleb. Alright.
And Caleb would love to have another Ancient Tomb here, another City of Traders, something to get him... Oh, did Caleb... Oh no, Caleb didn't pass the turn. That's the draw off the Ponder. Now it's Caleb's turn.
Caleb's turn. So Caleb...
Looks like
Darkslick Shores, Swamp, Engineered Explosives. Caleb's still with a pretty solid grip here. He's going to go ahead and crack Polluted Delta. So Caleb with plenty of lands. Land screwing is not going to affect him too hard.
Right. Now, Caleb Durward, with that Polluted Delta, definitely a heads-up play. He's playing around the Stifles that he knows are in Joey Andrews' deck. He would love to make those Stifles dead cards.
Right, and I think it doesn't take too much work for him to do that. Stifle, not a very good card in this matchup for Joey Andrews.
No, what Stifle will probably end up doing this match is either getting shuffled away with Brainstorm, or more likely, stifling something like a Jace activation, a Tezzeret activation, Engineered Explosives.
You have to hope it's not a Jace activation, because that means Jace resolved, which is really bad for Joey Andrews.
Exactly.
So Andrews, it appears he does not... He's going to start with a Delver of Secrets. I don't know if he has another land. No, he's stuck on 1 land. Kind of did it to himself, but I mean, once again, Rug Delver doesn't mind as much when that sort of thing happens.
Exactly.
And Caleb just with more lands, more land ramp, and that day it's going to get a daze on the Talisman.
Yeah, definitely a good play by Joey Andrews. He has to keep Caleb's mana down.
Yep, Delver refuses to flip. And we see a swing by Joey Andrews, and looks like it's going to be Nimble Mongoose from Joey.
Yep, and now what Joey doesn't know is that Caleb Durward has the Relic of Progenitus in his hand. The 1-of Relic, that'll neuter that Nimble Mongoose pretty well while drawing him a card.
Right, Nimble Mongoose comes down for Joey Andrews. Caleb drawing Ancient Tomb.
Now, still not
He does have Engineered Explosives, which he can put on 1, and he can crack it this turn. So Explosives on 1. Does Joey Andrews have... The days won't even save him here. It would have to be a Force of Will.
Nope.
And then Ancient... Nope. And gets both of Joey Andrews' 1-drops.
So,
and that's really strong for Caleb.
Yeah, so the early disruption by Joey Andrews, he can't really make too good of use of it.
Oh, Ponder by Joey Andrews. Still stuck on 1 land.
Yep, but more than a land, he needs to draw a creature. Caleb Durward still on 16 life. Really healthy life total here.
It doesn't look like any of those top 3 are lands. I don't know if... No, don't think any of them are. Maybe one of them must be, otherwise he wouldn't be thinking this long about it.
Yeah, I think you're right. He will keep... And wow, he just says go? Interesting. I wonder what those top 3 were that he chose not to shuffle. He can't give Caleb Durward too much time because eventually Caleb Durward's signets are going to resolve. He plays so many mana sources, he'll be able to play his spells.
Right. Relic of Progenitus and another signet for Caleb. Ancient 2 means he could threaten even Karn as early as next turn.
Yeah, super powerful. Relic will definitely be cycling here. Neutering Joey's graveyard, making any oh.
Yep, he's going to exile. Nope, he's just going to tap it.
Only exiling 1 here.
That means Joey gets to pick the card.
Yep, not sure why he's keeping it around. No Snapcaster Mages or anything of the sort in Joey Andrews' deck.
Probably there's no reason not to. He's going to go ahead and use the Damnation just to blow up the Delver's secrets.
Right, I would have thought Caleb would have wanted the 1 extra draw to draw into something like a Karn.
So I'm very puzzled about Joey Andrews keeping 3 non-lands on top of his deck. Another Delver.
Yeah, 1 Delver a turn. Well, just fine turn 2, turn 3. Right now on turn 4 or 5, it's...
Caleb with some really haymaker draws. Solemn Simulacrum, Wormcoil Engine, Jace, Tezzeret, Karn. All of these are things that Joey doesn't have an answer to. He's got to make sure that none of them happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Turns are just what Caleb wants.
If he can trade 1 for 1 with Damnation, he'll be really happy to do that because that means that he's 1 closer to Karn, 1 closer to Jace. And right here, this is a Tez, I think.
Tezzeret's going to come down, and we might see this is why the Relic of Progenitus stays in play.
That makes sense.
2 more mana for Baleful Strix. And draw a card.
Now, usually you want to play your card draw spell before anything else, but Caleb playing around days there.
Yep, he's going to make Baleful Strix into a 5/5, just in case the Delver there does flip.
Right. And it doesn't.
Nope, still nothing on Joey Andrews' side, and this is going to be game 1 to Caleb.
Definitely 2 permanents versus active Planeswalker, 5/5 Flying Death Touch. 6 mana. Wow. Caleb Durward making it look easy here in this top 8. Breezing through the combo deck, breezing through the White Weenie deck. And now, game 1, it looks like it will go to Caleb against the Rug Delver deck. Joey Andrews not out of it yet, still at a healthy 19 life, but he's got to feel it slipping away right now.
And Ponder by Joey Andrews. Trying to find something. Still, he will need more lands. I think at this point there's nothing that really helps him here. He's going through the motions, but Caleb has the game.
Yeah, Joey Andrews has to set up some combination of bolt, and somehow sneak in some damage with the Delver of Secrets, which, if I know Caleb Durward's cautious playstyle, he's not going to let that happen.
Right.
So Joey Andrews finally found a Misty Rainforest. He'll keep it on top, of course. That'll go find a Volcanic. Oh no. Okay. I thought he found a Misty. Maybe it was something else.
Nope, still no land, and I don't know. So Joey Andrews, the Ponder was kept on top, correct?
I believe so. I believe that Delver will flip next turn.
Yeah, but it's just not enough. You can't actually operate off 1 land. The deck's very efficient, but not that efficient.
Exactly. Now, usually 2 5/5s and a 6/6 Wormcoil versus an island
versus
and a 1/1.
Island and a 1/1 is usually favors the
add
16 power.
Add Caleb for sure.
Yep. Joey and Caleb just being so safe, swinging just Relic, not Strix.
Yep, he knows there's no reason right now to get greedy. He knows that he has Joey dead. Might as well keep the Tezzeret alive.
And Caleb's just enjoying playing Magic. Doesn't want the game to end.
No, I'm sure his perfect turn next turn will be if he plays a Karn.
Karn, get your land. All right. And Caleb Durward wins game 1. Joey Andrews is going to be on the play again, but this time he'll have the option of sideboarding.
Exactly. So while those players look at their sideboards, look at the trophy, look at their sideboards,
Yeah.
We have a trivia question for you.
All right. So our trivia question is kind of a nod to the Caleb Durward deck building style. Both in Standard and in Legacy, Caleb Durward's decks filled almost the entire page of the deck building sheet with one-ofs. Caleb is a person who does not like to be unprepared in a format, likes to diversify his answers. He tends to be a control player. Diversifies his answers so that he's not left cold to any one card.
Exactly. And actually, we were trying to figure out what card he could possibly be cold to.
Okay, so we came up with this. In Caleb's, so you're going to have to get your deck list out. You're going to have to look up the deck that Caleb's playing. In his deck list, what card is the only card in his deck that Caleb could use to answer a Thrun? There's actually, of all his one-ofs, he'd have to find a specific card if he wanted to answer Thrun.
Yeah, he would. So tweet that answer at us. Make sure you use the hashtag SCGPremium.
Right.
And if you get that answer right, you'll be entered into the random drawing for 1 free year of Star City Premium.
So I'll tell you what, we were trying to find a card that only had one answer in Caleb's deck, and it took us quite a while to actually come up with one that is only answerable in one way, as Caleb's diverse answers very good against pretty much any threat.
Yeah, pretty much. Progenitus?
Progenitus? No, multiple answers. Unfortunately, we thought Progenitus would work. Yep. Yeah. Multiple answers, that one.
Come up with that. Send it in. You can at SCG Live. You can at me, at Matthias, but you don't have to. Just the hashtag.
Hashtag SCG Premium.
Right.
All right. So we're going to go back to the players. Both of them sideboarding now. Caleb actually doesn't have another answer to throw in the sideboard either. So, well, not hard answer to it. No, he does. He does have answers to sideboard. We're talking about in Caleb's main deck.
Right, in the main deck.
Sorry. So we're going to have to amend the trivia. In his main deck, answers to Thrawn.
Caleb Durward foils us, and we're not even in the tournament. How does he do it? So, looking ahead to sideboarding, Joey Andrews, in his sideboard, he has access to Grim Lavamancers, Red Blasts, Cormod's Grips, Sulfuric Vortex, Blue Blast, Crozen Grip, Light from the Loam, and Submerge. Now, right off the bat, I can tell you Submerge won't be brought in. Blue Elemental Blast won't be brought in. Tormod's Grip, no. Grim Lavamancer, no. He's looking at mostly Red Blasts, the 1 Crozen Grip, and the 2 Sulfuric Vortex. Now, what do you think he'll take out for those 6 cards?
Well, so we're looking at Joey Andrews' deck. Cards that he may not like as much in the matchup. I think the 4 Stifles. There's just not enough action for those to really justify playing them. He has a single Fire Ice. I think that comes out too. That's usually good against opposing creature decks like Maverick, and then it's a card that you can play because it has utility in other matchups. It doesn't have the first half in this one. I mean, outside of a Baleful Strix, which is fairly weak. So just as a utility tap draw card, I think he can do better. He'll probably board that out. As for the 6th card that he might go for, probably something like Thought Scour.
Right, just a marginal card, something that's pretty interchangeable with the rest of his deck. He'll be just taking out the Stifles, Fire Ice, Thought Scour.
Right. So, in Caleb Durward's deck, as we see down here, there aren't too many sideboard cards for him, actually, in this matchup. He may board in Doomblade. I think I'd like that as just an extra removal spell. Outside of Doomblade, I don't think there's really many answers. He may board in the 1 Dark Blast, just to try to hit Delvers as they come down. I probably wouldn't do that. I really just think it's the 1 card.
Yeah, he may board in 1 Vendilion Click just to have another blocker for Delver's Secrets. A little added disruption, but even that, not really that impressive. He'd be looking more at cards to board out rather than cards to board in.
Yeah, another option would be Perish, but then once again, there's only 8 creatures, or 12 creatures in Joey Andrews' deck. It may be best not to do that. Ensnaring Bridge is a tempting option, but I think incorrect. Typically, a card which is that narrow in its function, you want to make sure is actually as backbreaking as it looks. Because Joey has such a heavy complement of burn, it actually doesn't lock out the deck, and I think Ensnaring Bridge probably stays on the board as the result.
Yeah, I think so too, especially costing 3. It's a great target for Daze and Spell Pierce.
Well, yeah, costing 3 is just such a liability against Joey that if you want to side in anything that costs 3, it had better be good.
Right.
Like, so good that if you resolve it, you aren't losing, you know? Jace, Tezzeret, things like that.
Exactly, and that's why Maverick players sideboard in that choke. It costs 3, but against the right deck,
boy,
it
does it
absolutely
win.
lock them out.
Yeah.
So it looks like both players keeping their 7 here, so a mulligan-free game 2.
All right, Joey Andrews on the play. Cracking Misty Rainforest. Gonna go probably straight for a duel. There's no reason not to. Caleb doesn't punish him for grabbing them. Actually, sorry, he doesn't have anything but duels. So I'll go for Volcanic. Volcanic Island. So we'll see probably a turn 1. I'm expecting turn 1 Delver, possibly turn 1 Ponder.
Yep. Now he would love a turn 1 Delver. That is his ideal turn 1 play. But there are only 4 in the deck. And there it is. Delver of Secrets, turn 1. Exactly the start he needs. And Duress from Caleb, turn 1. Interesting.
Alright, the Duress, so we see Spell Pierce, Sulfuric Vortex, Ponder, Red Elemental Blast. More interesting of note, Joey Andrews does not have his 3rd land, so it's possible that the correct pick here is actually just the Ponder. Based on what's in Caleb's hand, he may choose Ponder. So we have Pierce, Ponder,
Vortex,
and Red Blast. And then a Wasteland.
Yeah, you know, it seems like none of those cards are really cards that can't be played around, especially the Spell Pierce, so I expect him to either take the Ponder or the Sulfuric Vortex. It depends if he's worrying about that Vortex going long.
Right, the thing about the Ponder is that, you know, Joey Andrews is going to have a dilemma as to whether or not to waste that dual land, and it really will depend on whether or not he draws another land. I mean, in all, probably what he'll hope to do, if the cards are left to him, is he'll turn to Ponder, see if there are any lands, then probably, you know, see, yes, there are lands, then waste the dual land.
Right.
And I think by taking the Ponder, Caleb stops that from happening. Apparently he has no answer to Sulfuric Vortex in his hand, so he's just going to take the Vortex.
Right.
That'd be the read I get from that play. He's just very worried about that resolving.
Yeah, taking the Vortex is the safe play.
Delver does not flip, but he does hit a fetch land. We're not going to see the fetch land. We're going to see Ponder here, almost certainly followed by Wasteland.
Yes, for sure. Joey Andrews just wants to keep parity here, buy time for his Delver to flip. Joey should definitely Ponder first.
Yep. See what's going on. I think if he sees another land, he's going to have to... So the top of the deck, Ponder, Tarmogoyf, Daze. I believe Tarmogoyf, Daze. That's just an excellent top of the deck for him.
Yeah.
Grabbing the Tarmogoyf and Wastelanding the sea just has to be the right move.
Yeah, this is exactly the start he wants.
Yep, but he'll draw a Daze first before drawing the Tarmogoyf.
Okay, so he wants to protect against any shenanigans Caleb might have.
Yeah, Wasteland, waste the duel. Well, because he will draw both cards, you know, provided he doesn't use this Daze, and ideally he won't have to. The only problem about stacking it this way is now his Delver's not going to flip this turn.
Right.
Caleb, Ratchet Bomb, and his Ratchet Bomb is going to get dazed.
Yep,
so Caleb,
dazed.
shocking himself for the Ratchet Bomb, remember, he put both Dazes just for the purpose of flipping the Delver.
Very nice.
Which
Joey
I do
Andrews.
like.
That's a great Ponder stack right there. It's going to work out really well for him. And now Caleb Durward staring down a 3-2 with Daze backup, with Red Blast backup.
Right. This
Joey
has got to
Andrews
be hard,
in the driver's
especially
seat.
when Caleb's lands are shocking him. This is really brutal for him.
Yeah, it's all about the turn 1 Delver.
Yep. Such a good... Red Rug Delver just does such a good job of tempoing. Caleb, Vault of Whispers. 3 mana of Whispers. 3 mana up.
Yeah, important to note, though, Caleb not going to get dazed here because of that extra 1 mana from Ancient Tomb.
Yep. So we see Delver of Secrets swinging in again. Dropping Caleb down to 11. Yeah, we have to be a little quiet here. The hall tends to empty out toward the end of the Legacy Open. We need to make sure, though we're across the room, that we don't actually cue on the players to what's going on.
Exactly.
Caleb tries for Doomblade, shocks himself to try for Doomblade, and it's Spell Pierced. So Caleb drops to 9 on that attempt. Very costly failed Doomblade. Duress is going to go at Joey Andrews. Joey has a Daze, Tarmogoyf, and Red Blast. He'll just let it happen.
Yeah.
So Daze or Red Blast. Probably will be Red Blast.
Have to imagine. So Caleb Durward, he has a Thopter Foundry in his hand. It looks like maybe a Trinket Mage and a Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Well, the biggest problem is he can't cast any of those spells.
Right. Not even close.
So I guess it's the Daze then. And so Caleb, I believe at 9 now, and soon to drop to 6. Because the 2 damage on the Ancient Tomb off the attempted Doomblade.
Right.
We'll confirm life totals here, but either way, Caleb really looking in a bad spot after this Delver hit.
Yep, he has between 2 and 3 Delver swings on him. Yep, there's the correct life total. 2 Delver swings remaining for Caleb Durward.
Yeah, and Rug just when it has a great draw, just such a punishing deck.
Right, when it's ahead, it usually stays ahead.
Now, if I'm Joey Andrews, Joey's going for, I think he's going to go for Tarmogoyf, try to lower the clock by 1. The reason I don't like that play is, now granted, he's not in danger of it, but say Caleb were to make Swamp Damnation.
Right, that's just brutal. All Joey Andrews has left is a 1/1 Delver. Now Caleb would have to drop to 4 for that, but Joey Andrews no burn in hand. And there's the Goyf. Goyf currently a huge, certainly enough to, yeah, and there's the game.
Yep, so Joey Andrews equalizes. Going to game 3, Andrews versus Durward. Durward will be on the play game 3.
Yep, and someone manages to take a game off Caleb in the top 8. This is his first game loss, but good news for him, he'll be on the play for game 3, and this is actually the first time he'll have been on the play in the top 8 too.
Yeah.
So both players, looking back at their sideboards, it looks like Caleb is trying to switch some things around here. He's pulled one card out of his main deck. Not sure what it is. 1, 2. Maybe he's looking to side out some faster cards for some slightly slower but more versatile cards. Not really sure. He could be siding back in his Thirst for Knowledges, something like that, siding back in a 3-drop. Maybe increasing his curve a little bit, trading speed for power.
Yeah, no, really what I think that Caleb, and I think in this matchup, he wants the speed aspect of his deck. That, like, ideally, so Caleb's on the play, and if I would think about what his ideal turn 1 would be, you know, it would be Ancient Tomb Signet.
Oh, definitely.
Like, if he can do that, that's great.
Exactly. Before Joey has the Spell Pierce mana up, before Joey has the Daze mana up. And, you know what? If Joey wants to Wasteland that Ancient Tomb, that's fine. Caleb has a Signet. But we'll see how it shakes out. Caleb Durward making a run with a pretty unconventional deck here, facing off against one of the pillars of Legacy in Rug Delver.
Right, Rug Delver, I would say probably the consensus, quote-unquote, best deck in Legacy. That's not to say that it is, you know, unbeatable or has no bad matchups, but it's probably, you know, the deck with, if you were to aggregate all of its matchups, the most consistently performing deck.
Definitely. More so than Esper Stoneblade. That was almost a flavor of the month. It's fallen out of favor a little bit. Not as many people playing that deck. Not as many people playing Merfolk, not as many people playing Maverick, but Rug Delver really has had the staying power in the previous months. It's remained precariously on top, and
right.
Joey Andrews shows why. That draw was just brutal. So it looks like both players laughing, having some table chat, not letting the pressure get to him. Caleb's been here many times before.
Yep.
I'm liking Joey Andrews' poise under pressure, though.
So, yeah, both players, a lot of chatting going on here. Both smiles about it.
And actually, you can see behind Joey Andrews, this is how empty the event hall is. You see one group of people right over the head judge's shoulder, and that is about it.
We're nearing past 10 o'clock here in Cincinnati. A lot of people making the drive out. A lot of people on their drive home, I know, streaming with us. I hear talk a lot of people competing in the event continue to watch on the internet coverage. So for those of you driving home from the event, thanks for coming this weekend. Thanks for still watching with us.
Definitely. And, you know, there's nothing more vindicating than seeing the person who knocked you out of the tournament win it.
Or seeing him lose in the finals because you're mad he beat you.
That one works too.
That's more how I would probably feel about it.
I suppose it depends which round you lost. You lost in top 4, I wouldn't, you know, you probably wouldn't be too upset. Losing round 1, 2, 3, yeah. You want to see that guy lose.
It depends, like, you know, yeah, he got lucky to beat me. I'm glad he didn't just keep getting lucky.
Right. Glad someone taught him a lesson.
Yeah. And Caleb, like I said, his deck really has been very, very impressive so far in this top 8.
Yeah, definitely. His deck, you know, when I first looked at it in the early round in which we featured him, it really just looked like a pile of cards. Karn Liberated in a Legacy deck?
Right.
What kind of craziness is that?
That's a little bit of a high mana cost.
A 7 for Legacy?
Yeah.
You're crazy. I see 7s all the time.
Well, usually you see 15s in Legacy at that point.
15s and 10s and 12s and things like that, but...
I suppose how much does Gristle brand? No, he's an 8, isn't he?
He's an 8. No.
Oh, okay, no, almost a 7.
Not many,
you know,
really
because
not
people
many
typically
7s.
tap 8 to cast Gristle brand.
Yeah.
You know. Turn 1 Duress by Caleb Durward, so he's going to see the keep. It's a 1-land keep of Tropical Island. Then it has Spell Pierce, Ponder, Red Blast, Croson Grip, which is a good card here. Force of Will and Thought Scour. So the Scour and the Ponder making this a very keepable hand. You know, the Red Blast not very castable yet. More interesting, Joey Andrews has kept a hand without a turn 1, without any creatures in it, which is a little more suspect, but I don't think you can shift the hand.
No, I don't think so. It has all the tools you're hoping to have, but the turn 1 duress takes the ponder, and that is just really strong. Now Joey Andrews has no card manipulation.
Well, he still has Thought Scour. It's not manipulation at all, though, but he can cycle it.
Yep, he has one
So,
cycle.
Tropical Island, Joey has drawn a second Tropical Island. Good, but not great because it's still not a threat.
Yep, still not a threat, not even a red source.
And here's going to come Baleful Strix from Caleb Durward. So I'm thinking about it again. I'm not positive I actually like the keep here from Joey Andrews. It's close. It's when you have to go into the tank on, I think. I don't know. I'm not an experienced Rogue Delver player, but... Alright, so Thought Scour will get rid of Sylvan Library, Nimble Mongoose, and draw a Delver Secret. It's a
that
very
is a great draw.
Great draw.
So Joey Andrews, the top of his deck, being kind to him, he has the 1/1.
And he has a Tarmogoyf.
Wow.
So on turn 2, he can choose between Tarmogoyf and Delver of Secrets. I think the correct answer is Delver of Secrets.
Yeah, you would much rather trade the Delver for that Baleful Strix right here. And the judge correcting Joey Andrews on his graveyard order probably won't matter too much in this matchup. I don't think any cards care about it, but have to maintain the integrity there.
Yeah. He's going to casting Delver of Secrets, passing the turn.
Yep, I definitely like Joey Andrews' play so far. Casting the Tarmogoyf there, I think, would be a lot worse than casting the Delver.
Well, both of them crash into Baleful Strix.
Right.
You know, and I have to think that Caleb's ahead. Caleb says exactly, you know, turn 3 and Caleb's at 20. This is exactly what he wants to see happen. Well, now he's at 19, but did it to himself.
Yeah, he has another Baleful Strix in hand, too, so both of Joey's creatures theoretically dealt with here.
Baleful Strix, just an excellent card in this matchup.
Yeah, just an amazing 2-for-1. Always going to draw a card, and theoretically always going to trade with a creature.
Mm-hmm.
So Caleb taps 2, and here it comes. Big Daddy Strix. Caleb waiting for a response from Joey, and Joey, I don't know if he can afford to Force of Will this. If he does, he removes his Spell Pierce, and he's out of counter magic.
Right. Alright, so... we have Joey Andrews withdraw. He still has his Tarmogoyf swinging. He's going to trade off the Delver with a Strix. That's fine. There's no way the Delvers are going to not trade with the Strix.
Exactly. It's not like Joey Andrews has any other way to deal with it except burning it.
And here's the problem. The Tarmogoyf comes down. If Caleb can land a Jace or some other Planeswalker here, that can really shore up the game.
Definitely 5/5 Baleful Strix.
No, it's not going to. I don't think he has the land. He has a Damnation. I think he's going to go for a Thirst for Knowledge.
Yep, he'll try and make his land drops here.
Alright, Thirst for Knowledge.
And yeah, the bind that Joey really finds himself in is that all the spells from Caleb's deck are pretty good on their own. So usually you save the Force of Will, you save the Spell Pierce for those really singular threats, but Caleb just has so many solid cards that it's tough.
Right, and the hard part is that Joey Andrews has no advantage on the board here, and Caleb just with a full grip, you know, growing cards. This is exactly what Caleb wants to be doing. This is, I think, why Baleful Strix is so good in this matchup.
Right, it just buys him time, and that's all he needs.
Play Ancient Tomb. It looks like he's debating whether or not to Ancient Tomb, I think, into a Signet. He's going to go City of Traders into Chalice on 1.
Wow.
Wow, that's really brutal here.
Joey has to Force of Will that.
Yeah, he has to. This is most of Joey's deck cost on
Exactly.
Caleb slowly sneaking the die onto it, but no, it's going to be eat the Force of Will. And I think it's almost just, yeah, I don't see Joey's path back into this game.
Yeah, you know, Joey could have let that resolve and then untapped, hope to draw land and Crows and Grip that, but he kind of wants to save the Crows and Grip for the Baleful Strix.
Right.
He has to get rid of that and start actually doing damage.
Exactly. If he doesn't do damage, he can't win. He has a second Tarmogoyf in hand. I think the play to me seems to be to drop second Tarmogoyf and then hope to draw the Crows and Grip mana.
Yeah,
and hope that Caleb's hand's full of blanks. It's probably not. In fact, we know from here it has a Damnation in it.
Yeah, and you know, Joey Andrews really just not in a good spot here. He doesn't want to trade the Tarmogoyf for the Strix, but he doesn't want to trade any creature for the Strix. The Strix is just so good here. And Perish drawn by Caleb. another semi-Wrath of God effect. He has so many ways to kill creatures in his deck.
Right.
And there it is. There's the Damnation. Doesn't want to risk the attack with the Strix first in case Joey has another counter.
And he's going to cast Damnation. And now with Ancient Tomb will replace City of Traders. City of Traders had to go at some point.
Yep, and that Ancient Tomb sets up the end of turn Thirst for Knowledge. Looks like it will trade. Oh, no.
Here comes the Tarmogoyf.
Tapping out for Tarmogoyf.
And that end turn Thirst for Knowledge anyway. Caleb, a little more comfortable with his life total. We'll drop down to 17.
Yeah, 2 life. Definitely worth the Thirst for Knowledge here. He's trying to build up to a big threat, a Karn, a Wormcoil, or a Planeswalker.
Yep, so not Signet time anymore.
Nope, Signet time long past.
Yep.
It's Karn time.
Well, if he has one, we'll see.
And right now, Parrish just might trade 1 for 1 with this Tarmogoyf. Caleb just wants to keep his life total as high as possible.
Yeah, no reason to take a hit from a Tarmogoyf at this point. And we have Talisman into Parrish.
Yep. So Parrish does its best Doomblade impersonation right there.
Yep.
And Tarmogoyf to the yard.
So draw still only, there we go, 3rd land, all colors online for Joey Andrews now. Now he can Cross and Grip something.
Oh boy.
A little late.
Yep.
He needs to just he can continue to land threats. He's out of threats right now, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's already gone through 1 Nimble, 2 Delver, and 2 Goyf, so he only has 7 creatures left in his whole deck.
I mean, this is the game part of the game for Rogue Delver. It's very hard to crawl back into the game. All their cards, very low impact cards, which are great on curve, but not great at this point in the game. And
there he is.
Okay, Jace gets red blasted immediately. Can't actually.
No thought about that.
Yeah. And Joey Andrews essentially has a dead spell pierce here.
And the judge making sure the graveyard in full view.
Yep. Excellent. And that the graveyard order is maintained, though I don't think anyone's playing with any alliances. Was it anything?
Death Spark.
Death Spark. It's pre-Stronghold or some I believe.
Yeah, no Corpse Dances in Caleb Durward's deck. That's for sure. Corpse Dance, Baleful Strix, attack for 1.
Yeah.
Bang.
So, yeah.
You know, actually, I wouldn't be surprised to find a Corpse Dance in Caleb's deck with all the crazy one-offs he's sporting.
Our judge here believes that if you're playing with cards Saga or earlier, that you're required to maintain graveyard order.
So Joey Andrews in the middle of Brainstorm here. He's trying to figure out his path to victory. Caleb Durward's still at a really healthy 17
it's
right
gonna
now.
Have to, I mean, it's going to have to start with creatures.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, most of Caleb's cards post-board are really good against the creature strategy.
Exactly. Now, Joey Andrews, 12 creatures in the deck. I believe if we counted up the number of kill spells in Caleb's deck, it'd be pretty close to 12.
At least.
And that's not even counting counter spells.
I like that. I have more removal spells than you have creatures.
So therefore, you cannot win.
It's always a good thing when that happens in a game of limited.
Oh boy.
That's one of the best feelings. All right. Well, puts 2 back, plays a fetch land. Going to get to shuffle some of those away. Looks like he has another creature. It's going to be Delver of Secrets.
Okay, so that's
He's going to have to ride this Delver a long way. It's going to need to get at least 4 hits in, probably.
Yeah, and Caleb Durward has so many good draws right now.
Force of Will. I don't know if he actually. Okay. Sorry. I don't know if actually he's going to drop City of Traders here, and he has Engineered Explosives. He's going to make it on 1 and crack it.
Yep. Delver down. He's happy to just trade 1 for 1 for these creatures.
His last card, is not. I think it's kind of a non-card. I mean, I don't think it's a threat or an answer. I don't remember we don't know what Caleb's last card is.
I think it's a Force of Will.
Okay, it's Force of Will. So it's a grit. So it's another removal spell.
Right. So Caleb Durward, 1 Force of Will in hand to Joey Andrews, 1 Crows and Grip in hand. The players at parity here, but Caleb Durward can cast any spell in his deck, and his top decks are a heck of a lot better.
Joey Andrews with 6 creatures left in his deck, 6 in the yard.
Yeah, it's going to be an uphill battle for him. It'll all start with Tarmogoyf.
Right. So Caleb, with his full set of Tesserats as outs here, a pair of Jaces, a Karn, a pair of Wormcoil Engines. So Caleb has almost 10 game-ending cards right here.
Right. I mean, even something as simple as a Solemn Simulacrum will start to pull him ahead.
And Sulfuric Vortex, that's going to get the Force of Will.
Yeah, immediately forced. Caleb cannot let that resolve.
Yep, Caleb down to 16.
He'll go to get a basic here, it looks like. Oh, no, maybe just an underground.
I'm not worried about price of progress. He knows it's not in the deck.
Nope.
That would be quite a price of progress, though.
2, 4, 6, 8.
And he'll counter the Sulfuric Vortex.
Wow. So Sulfuric Vortex to the yard. Both players empty-handed, as so often happens when playing against Rug Delver.
Right. All right. So it's just straight top decking, but Caleb exactly where he wants this match to be.
And this is what these games so often come down to. The top of the deck. Oh, just a Tezzeret.
Just a
no big deal.
He hits one of his 10, I believe. Yeah, Tezzeret, and that should be enough. Almost immediately he's going to animate and hit with Talisman of Dominance.
Yep, Joey Andrews going to have to draw something pretty good here. We'll see what it is.
Yep. It is Nimble Mongoose.
Nimble Mongoose.
It is a 3/3.
Yep. It is enough to threaten the Tezzeret. Tez has no other artifacts to animate right now. So he'll go and search.
And it looks like he's found more than one, and he's found Ratchet Bomb.
Yep, that'll deal with that Nimble.
Caleb may wait a turn before swinging. No need to race right now. You can play Ratchet Bomb, then kill Nimble Mongoose next turn.
Right,
yep,
just
Caleb
like,
knows that. He'll pass.
At every point in this game, Caleb just wants to extend it.
Wasteland from Joey Andrews, not a card.
Nope, the blankest. And Ratchet Bomb ticks to 1.
Ratchets up to
You see Joey Andrews feeling powerless there as he ships the turn
I think
back.
he knows how this is ending. Unfortunately, the control deck Caleb extends the sleeper hold farther. Getting Worm Coil Engine and cracking Ratchet Bomb to bin the Nimble Mongoose.
Yep. Caleb Durward representing lethal next turn.
5. Joey Andrews down to 8, and one more swing. The army of artifacts coming out of Caleb's deck, taking the finals.
Yep. City, Signet empty-handed.
Right. And he's going to wasteland the city.
Why not? He wants to do one more thing before he scoops.
And Caleb, there we are. Caleb Durward is your Star City Games Cincinnati Legacy Champion, defeating Joey Andrews 2-1 in the finals with his blue-black Tezzeret deck.
Yeah, congratulations to him. You know, he showed us an awesome deck this weekend. You know, we've seen blue-black Tezzeret decks before in Legacy, but never one quite this wacky.